Welcome to Reading to be Read for February 2025. I've got a good lineup today. I'm really excited about everything on the docket. My read category is going to be very simple this month. Despite starting a whole bunch of things last month, I put everything aside and did my best to finish Wind and Truth, which, yes, I am finally done with this tome. It took 4 weeks longer than I thought it would. And this is still the only fiction book that I've finished this year so far, and it's like 2 weeks into February. Was it worth it? I think yes. The beginning third of this one was front-loaded with so many amazing things. I thought the pacing was great, the character immersion, the events. I loved it. Then we hit kind of a lull in the middle, but to me, I didn't mind it because I think it was all leading up to the culmination of this first arc of the series. And I am finishing the longest book that I have ever read, feeling like I wish I could keep reading. This one totally worked for me. I was completely delighted with some of the things. And I had like a pit in my stomach. I'm like, I think I know where this is going. And it's going to be kind of boring if it is. Like, final battle scenes in series and books don't usually grip me. But Sanderson did it right. In fact, it's been a couple of days since I put this one down, and I'm still kind of reeling from what I read. I cannot wait to see what happens next. But woe is me, it's a Stormlight book. We have a long way to go before we're gonna get the next one. But that's great for all of you who haven't read it yet. You have time. I am not sure how I'm rating this one yet. Probably 4.5 out of 5 stars. Book 1 and 2 are still my favorites. And I think the novelty component in both of those, and oh man, I don't think you can ever amount to what those two books did for me. But I liked this one better than Oathbringer, and I liked it better than Rhythm of War, or at least on par. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5. Stellar. And that was it for the read category. So ranking everything that I finished, Wind and Truth is both the worst book and the best book that I read. Currently reading, my patrons and I are going through Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Now, the funny thing is Wind and Truth took me 2 months to read. I've been into this thing for like 3 or 4 days and I'm already halfway through it. You have no idea how good this is for my soul to be able to actually read books at a normal pace again. Like, it was worth it, but man. And incidentally, it took about halfway through this book before I started enjoying it. The beginning felt like a lot of senseless drama, but see, not the kind of drama I was expecting. In fact, my patrons and I are a little confused at the way that the second book ended. We were going to get a lot more fallout in this one. No, it seems content to be going on a whole bunch of really weird tangents that seem like non sequiturs. But the thing about this is you really have to just go with it, because the things aren't going to make sense. There's inconsistencies. The world building is among the most thin that I've ever read, but it's also compulsively readable. And some of the bickering and back and forth dialogue things and the narrator yelling at you the whole time, that kind of was grating on me at the beginning of the book, for some reason isn't bothering me in the middle parts here. I feel like it's flowing a lot better. And there are 2 or 3 kind of mystery elements that I am reading to figure out more about. Like, there's definitely a drawback here to find out what's really going on. I also think I'm enjoying it more because I'm following along on my conviction per my goals video that I posted a couple weeks ago to slow down with my books, really enmesh with them, read one at a time. I've been really enjoying the buddy read aspect of this because I think the discussions have added to my enjoyment of it. And overall, it's been entertaining. Definitely the fast-paced, entertaining, quick read that I needed after Wind and Truth. I will be sharing more of my vlogged thoughts on this book during my upcoming Read Burn Horde. So now we get into the to be read section. Even though I already started this one, The Last Threshold by R.A. Salvatore, the last book in the Neverwinter saga by Salvatore, the Drit series. I've talked about this one so much that my brain doesn't even care if I get it accurate anymore. I'm halfway through this one, but because I'm earnestly trying to focus on just one thing at a time and get the most out of it, I'm considering this one like it would be something that I would need to pick up and go back to and dedicate full attention to. So I would like to finish this one out. It's not super high priority, but if I can squeeze it in between other reads this month, I would like to just like knock it out. It would be completing a series because I'm now considering the subsets full series. And then upcoming buddy read for Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This is actually our book club pick. I still cannot believe how many people told me how good this book is, even compared to The Martian, which was excellent. So it bumped it up on my priority, and it's the reason it got nominated for book club, so I'm really excited to diving into it. It strikes me as one of those good momentum books, right? One with great pacing, and one that's worth every effort that you put into it. So I'm very excited to read this one, especially since I have this broken binding edition, which is on par with my intent to prioritize these expensive books. If I'm going to pay that much, I want to read them ASAP. So looking forward to that. And then in early March, my patrons and I are going to read Alien Clay by Adrian Tchaikovsky. As far as I know, this is a standalone, but you never know with him. He's so prolific, he may come out with like a second book in the series. But I am a huge Tchaikovsky fan. I'm reading as many things by him that I can get my hands on. In fact, this is my ongoing prolific author project. So anytime I can read more of this man's works, the better. By the way, I think my next one might be KJ Parker because I enjoyed the Siege trilogy so much, or Guy Gabriel Kay. That's the kind of stuff that I'm in the mood for the long haul. But yeah, with Tchaikovsky, my patron Mindolin shared a checklist of all of Tchaikovsky's works, and I thought I was doing pretty good. Like, I've read most of the main ones or whatever, but like I have a ways to go. There are so many books that I haven't read yet. I would say I'm less than 50% of the way through. Some of them are shorter novellas, but great. This can be the year of Tchaikovsky. Last year was the year of Tchaikovsky too, though. This will be 2 years of Tchaikovsky. Anyway, should be fun. Oh, look! More Tchaikovsky! Okay, so having a debate, I'm reading one of these books for the Incomplete Series project, and I can't decide which one I'm going to go with. This is just a placeholder. The first book is Pilgrimage of Swords. It's by Anthony Bryan. I am not going to talk about this book again, but that one might get read because I've been itching to read it, and then continuing on with Shadows of the Apt has been a huge priority. And so it will come down to, I don't know, creative vision for the video. I'm not sure, but one of these two will get read. And then last but not least on my TBR, I want to do a nonfiction. This one's called Refuse to Choose. It's kind of about making room for all of the creative things you want to do in your life. And I want to read it because it's in stark contrast to both of my gurus, Oliver Burkeman and Cal Newport, who both say you should just pick one thing to focus on. It's all about balance, and I really want to see a perspective for someone who's like, just go all in. In fact, there's another one called Someday is Today, and I've seen a podcast with this author, and I really appreciate a lot of his philosophies too. So I want to be experimenting with those a little bit. Oh my gosh. Yo, I forgot that I had a few more things that I read. Like, I'm a little young to be going senile, but I'm seeing some early signs. Parenthood. I was reading Starter Villain by John Scalzi with my patrons, but I DNF'd that thing about the time I got to the dolphins. It started out good. I was really entertained. I thought it was cute. I liked the cats. But this guy was just so incredulous. And actually, I may have mentioned that I was reading it on my last wrap-up, but I don't think I had officially DNF'd it. So, official, right? Maybe, I don't know. I can't see a situation where I put down some of the exciting things that I'm reading to go back and finish that one, especially since I've already kind of walked away. But there is this, like, compulsion to see what happened. So maybe I'll go open my patrons' spoiler comments and read from there. And then I also read Meditations for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman. And I've been talking about this book a lot, so I thought I had already covered it on the channel, but my patrons have seen it, but you won't see the part where I talk about it. Anyway, it's essentially about embracing your finitude with life and strategies how to focus on the things that really matter and kind of ways to curb the anxiety you get at all the things you're not tending to. Loved the snot out of this book. It was so good. Like, 4,000 Weeks changed my life. No doubt about it. One of the best books I've ever read. It was just, everything about its philosophies are what I'm applying to my life now. And this is an entire book of 28-day little segments of practical application of all of his theories and philosophies. And it's so good. Like, I prepared a shelf help segment where I wanted to go and extract a couple of my favorite points from the book and discuss it. But I had enough material after just the intro. So, highly recommend. I did this on the 28-day suggested program where you do just like 1 5 to 7 minute per day, and you really let that percolate. And ultimately, you have spent almost a full month on it. And honestly, my impulse once I finished it was to go back and start over again because it was that good. It's in a nutshell, but it's got a lot more good stuff than that. That's the lineup. I'm in for some really good reading, some heavy hitter authors on here, and I think this particular video is the first one that's in line with a lot of the new goals that I set for myself this year. Slowing down a little bit, taking a lot of time with the books that I'm in, only reading one thing at a time. And it's already paying dividends because I think I'm enjoying Onyx Storm a little more than I would be had I been allowing myself to mix it up with other things. I am focusing on the best books first. Everything on the lineup here is about finishing out series that I've invested in and reading more owned books. Overall, I think I'm going in the right direction. 2 weeks into my new resolutions, and I'm sticking to them. So let me know what kind of books you've enjoyed recently and which ones are on your docket over the next couple of weeks. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Bye.